More than 30 years after the death of Kurt Cobain, shocking new claims are stirring up heated debate about what really happened inside his Seattle home in April 1994. The frontman of Nirvana was just 27 years old when he died on April 5, 1994, a death officially ruled a suicide by shotgun wound. But now, an unofficial private team of forensic researchers says there are serious questions that deserve another look. Kurt Cobain was found dead at his home in Seattle from a gunshot wound inflicted by a Remington Model 11 20-gauge shotgun. The King County Medical Examiner's Office ruled his death a suicide following a full autopsy and investigation. The news devastated fans around the world. As the voice behind Nirvana's groundbreaking album Nevermind, Cobain had helped define the 1990s grunge movement. His death joined the tragic list of artists lost at 27. But from the beginning, conspiracy theories and doubts have circulated, fueled by grief, speculation, and unanswered emotional questions. Now, decades later, a new independent review is reigniting that conversation. An unofficial private sector team of forensic scientists recently re-examined nearly every aspect of Cobain's death, including autopsy findings, crime scene details, toxicology reports, and most controversially, his suicide note. After what they describe as a 3-day intensive review, the team published a peer-reviewed paper in the International Forensic Science outlining 10 points they believe are inconsistent with suicide. Independent researcher Michelle Wilkins, who collaborated with the group, says one forensic specialist reviewing the case concluded, "This is a homicide. We've got to do something about this." That statement has drawn enormous attention, but what exactly are they pointing to? One of the biggest focal points is Cobain's handwritten note. Wilkins and others argue that the top portion of the note, which discusses quitting music and frustrations with fame, appears consistent with Cobain's known handwriting. However, they claim the final 4 lines look different. According to the researchers, the writing style in those lines appears larger, more hurried, and potentially written by a different hand. In 2025, a Washington-based private investigator also claimed handwriting experts found 2 distinct styles within the note. Those experts reportedly concluded that while the majority matched Cobain's handwriting, the final lines, which mention his wife and daughter, may not. It's important to note, these claims are not part of the official investigation, and law enforcement has not validated those findings. The forensic team also questions toxicology results. Cobain had heroin in his system at the time of death. The new paper argues that the levels were high enough to potentially incapacitate him, raising questions about whether he could have physically operated the shotgun himself. They also point to what they describe as signs of oxygen deprivation in organs such as the brain and liver, claiming those findings align more with overdose-related complications than immediate death by gunshot. Additionally, the team highlights the reportedly clean crime scene, the positioning of Cobain's arms, shell casings lined up nearby, and receipts for the gun and ammunition allegedly found in his pocket. Wilkins described it as looking staged, suggesting someone wanted the scene to appear unquestionably like suicide. However, these are interpretations from independent researchers, not conclusions from official authorities. The King County Medical Examiner's Office has firmly stood by its original ruling. In a statement, a spokesperson said that the office followed all procedures in determining the manner of death, and that none of the claims yet warrant as new evidence worth reopening the case. Requests from the independent team to reopen the case have reportedly been declined. Importantly, the researchers themselves say they are not seeking arrests. They claim their goal is transparency and re-evaluation, not prosecution. Kurt Cobain's death has long existed at the intersection of tragedy and myth. He struggled publicly with addiction, depression, and the pressures of fame. In the months before his death, he had entered rehab and experienced a near-fatal overdose in Rome. For many fans, the idea of suicide was heartbreakingly consistent with the struggles he openly faced. For others, lingering doubts have never faded. 30 years later, the emotional weight of that loss still fuels debate. As of today, there has been no official reopening of the case. The ruling remains suicide, but the conversation continues. Whether this new forensic paper changes anything legally remains to be seen. What it has certainly done is reopen dialogue about mental health, addiction, and the complexity of fame.